what I found out is that by doing this, it's creating awareness, and I don't, it's not for you to be afraid, it's for you to learn. And that's why I started the Marshall Kidney Foundation, so people can learn and they don't have to go through the same experiences. And what I'm doing is trying to save you from dealing with this, being hooked up every 3 days a week. And I'm gonna tell you, it's not really a bad process. People might think it's as bad as it is, but guess what? That's my life support. That's my life support. If I wasn't doing that, I would get fluid overload, congested heart failure. I would just blow up like a balloon, and all the fluid retention would stay on there. So it's not as bad as people think, and I'm not telling you that I'm trying to glorify it or anything, but you can still live. I mean, that's what it's for. It's to keep you having a normal life or living a normal life. Now, when I'm in the streets, I walk up to somebody, they have no clue that I'm on dialysis. They have no clue that I have no working kidneys. It's part of it. If I went to a restaurant with you, you would probably never see me get up and go to the bathroom. So that's just part of it. I mean, so I tell you my story so it can help you or anybody that in case they run into a situation. Like, again, I already found out that by me telling my story, people are coming out, and if it can help anybody, if it helps just one person, that's a great thing. But what has to happen is you have to listen to your body. That's going to be the biggest key. Listening to your body, seeing how your body feels. Go get tested. There's different tests that you can take, and I did that in one of the other videos. You can hear that. So if you need to go back and listen to some of those videos, you need to, because those testing is going to be the early testing is what's going to save your life, because kidney disease doesn't start very fast and just, you go to kidney failure. It's going to give you an opportunity to pretty much save your life. I mean, so what you got to do is listen to what your body's telling you. Go have the doctor test you. They have different tests for just kidney. There's a regular test like CBC and your blood. They give you all your blood numbers. That's not the test. They need to do a specific test to find out whether your kidneys are failing. They check your creatinine, your EGFR. There's different things they're going to check. The specific to tell them how your kidneys function, how it's clearing the fluid on your body. And not just clearing the fluid like urine from your body, which expels your body builds up toxins and stuff. And when you go to the bathroom, those toxins come out in your urine. And in my case, they don't. So that's why I'm on dialysis, because what happened is the filter of my kidney was damaged. And the biggest thing with your filter and your kidney being damaged, it's like a sponge with big holes in a sponge. So everything like that would go to my body, it just goes right through the filter part of your body, the kidneys, and it doesn't hold anything anymore. So even though you're going to the bathroom, you're urinating, you're getting urine, and that's why people see like bubbles in their pee, or they're getting a big odor from their pee and things of that nature. So there's different signs of that, and again, follow me on different videos because I'll talk about that. But yeah, so there's a friend of mine that actually he passed away, I used to work with him, and we working at the dealership one day, and he came in. He was working, and the guy used to love tons of Red Bull. And I always thought Red Bull was bad because my brother used to drink Red Bull, and I said, there's something wrong with Red Bull. Whether there is or whether there isn't, I didn't like it. So this guy used to drink Red Bull all the time. I mean, he drank it more than he drank water. And it just so happened to be, I was going to the bathroom after I had my first transplant. And I went to the bathroom at the dealership, and I went in there and I smelled all this. I was like, wow, what's that foul smell? And it was in the urinal. And I was like, what the heck is that? And it looked like brown crystals almost. And grant you, this is way before, this is right after I had my first transplant, but I've known him for a long time. And what I'm trying to say is, he was diagnosed with kidney failure after I was. So with that being said, what happened was, he was diagnosed. When I went in that bathroom and smelled the odor coming out of there, and that looked like a whole bunch of brown crystals in there, I got concerned. I was like, what's going on with this person? I've never seen that, not even in myself. So the other guy was in there. There was only 3 of us. There was only 3 of us. So I said, whoever's going to the bathroom, there's something wrong with them. And I see things like this, so I wanted to speak up, and I said, there's something wrong with this person. They need to go see a doctor, because that's not right. You should never be going to the bathroom, to the urinal, and seeing brown crystals in the urinal, no less. And it was really strong, foul odor. So I went to the one guy, and he said, no, it's not me. And I go, and I didn't go to the bathroom. So I went to the other guy, and he was like, no, he tried to deny it. But I said, there's only 3 of us in the building. I said, you need to go see a doctor, because the other guy was convinced. He was like so sure that it wasn't him, because he said he never went to the bathroom. So he was like, I never went there. So it was that guy. So the guy just, he was a very good guy, man, very good guy. But he just liked what he liked. He liked to smoke cigars. He liked to drink his Red Bulls all the time. And he got to a point that, to a point of no return almost. Because even though he started going to the doctors, he started getting checked up, and that's when they diagnosed him with kidney failure. But he still kept doing the same things. So he wasn't listening to his body. So the biggest thing is, again, and I'm going to harp on this, listen to your body. You're the best one that knows your body. You know how you feel. You know how you felt before. But if you're doing anything that's altering your body, like drinking Red Bulls or doing drugs or smoking, then it's going to be hard to tell what your body's telling you. And that's not a good thing. See, in my case, yes, I was doing some things like I was going to GNC and taking all these supplements. And I think that's what happened between me with the high blood pressure and the diabetes already. And I just added to it because my blood pressure was uncontrolled. My diabetes at that time wasn't controlled. But what I did do is once I found out I had problems, I stopped everything. I never drank, I never smoked, I never did drugs, I never did any of that stuff. So maybe that's why I do so well on dialysis, because I stopped everything. I listened to my body. I stopped doing all the things that I was doing that was probably damaging my body. So the filter's already gone in my kidney. Everything else was functioning. So I think when I think back on it, that's probably the only thing that makes me survive, because I didn't do anything. I never did any bad things like drugs or drinking. Never in my life. Never. People don't believe it. I tell them that, but so be it. I don't mind that, because the bottom line is I'm not going to do something for somebody else. I'm going to do it for what I want to do. And that's how I've been my whole life. When I was in high school and all the places I've been, people are like, you don't drink, man? No, I don't drink. Never drink in my life. And I never disputed it with anybody, because everybody was like, why don't you just try this? Won't you? I never wanted it. So that was just me. So if anybody ever told you or said that I was drinking or doing this and that, wrong. You can't prove that about me ever in life. So, but I don't want to get, because that's really here nor there, but I'm just saying that people need to listen to their bodies. Like this guy, he was a good guy. And what happened is why he died, as they actually, eventually they put him on dialysis. He wasn't doing good with dialysis because he never wanted to stop what he was doing. He eventually lost, because dialysis will knock the heck out of your weight. And I was at close to 300 pounds, and I went down to 189. And he was probably a pretty big guy. He was probably about 250, 275, but he was a shorter guy than me. But he ended up looking like a whole different person, because he was very, very skinny. And then I talked to his family, and they just said he's just doing bad, worse. He's doing bad. He's doing very bad. So that's why I try to speak up to people, because I tried to help him before I even thought about this, helping other people and talking to save him. But I did try to help him, because I said, I'm experiencing this, and you're not doing well from what I'm seeing from you with that crystallization in a urinal. That is bad news, bro. And you're gonna die. And I told him. And not long after that, and this was about, I would say 3 years ago, no, it's longer than that. It's probably like 6 years ago. He died probably 3 years ago, because he just didn't want to listen. He didn't want to listen to his body. He didn't want to listen to anybody. And his family and them came together, and they all talked to him when he was in the hospital. He got to a point that he was really incoherent. He wasn't listening to anybody, and it really messed him up pretty bad. And he was a good dude. He really was a good dude. But you make your own choice. You either want to live or you want to die. So it's your choice how you want to live it. I'm not here to fight thinking about dying. I'm here to fight thinking about living. Oh, my whole life, that's how it was. It was all about living and trying to do the best thing. So, and again, it's going to come down to your choice whether you want to get help, you want to get early treatment and early testing. Make your choice. And if you're going through the things with, like I was telling you, my other friend that's suffering from high blood pressure at this point, and she's worried about all the other things. And that's another thing. See, people get afraid, and they start worrying, they start panicking, they start doing the wrong things. Yes, I was doing the same thing in the beginning. I was worried about taking all these different blood pressure medication. They put you on all kind of different things, testing different medications. If you look, I got little boobs here because I was taking a drug for so long. It's called Dactone. it gives men boobs. That's the side effect. In young men, it creates boobs. So everybody goes, you know, friends or family, oh, you need a bra. Yeah, I probably do need a bra. But they don't know that it ain't from eating, it ain't from eating wrong or anything. It's but from the side effects from the drugs. And that's what the biggest thing is. But I don't mind that because I'm still living. And I was like, you know what? You can talk all the crap you want. Give me the bra, I'll wear it. Because you know what? I'm still living and I'm still pushing. So people want to make fun, go ahead and make fun, but I don't care. And that's the thing that people don't understand. It changed my whole perspective on life and how we think about life and how we think about death. And I talk to my cousins and stuff like that, and I tell them, you know, because I was the one out there driving all the really nice cars, BMWs and things of that nature. But you know what? That stuff doesn't matter to me anymore. My whole perspective changed. It's not about that. It's about keeping yourself living and not worrying about dying. And just having a decent life that you can aspire to have. Because there's a lot of things I still want to do in life. I felt like I missed out on life. And I say that for a reason, like say for example, like having kids or traveling and again, that was my choice in the beginning. But as you get older, those things change. And I always was like saying to myself, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want, you know, but as you get older, you see that perspective changes. And whether I ever have kids again, I have no idea. And there's a longer story to that, but I don't want to get into that right now. But again, I don't want to drag this on too long, but please follow me for more information because I'll be telling more stories. And I know I know this will help people because, again, I already found since I've been doing this, and it's only been a short while, probably like a couple of weeks where I started making videos or whatever, but it's going to help people. It's going to get out there. People are going to start realizing. And you don't want to be the one that gets caught out there. Because if you get caught out there, you're going to be sitting here beside me. And if you don't understand what you're going through, and you don't understand this process, if you don't understand it, it can be good for you or it can be bad for you. But you got to understand the process and you got to listen to what your body's telling you. Even in here, I have to still think about how I'm feeling when I get out of here, what's happening with the process, what they do as far as the treatment they're giving you, what they set your numbers at. A lot of people don't understand that. And I don't think I understand it 100% either, but I'm better than most. I've seen people go in here and they're dragging out of here. They get dragged out here sometimes on stretchers or whatever. And just like my friend was doing, she was like confused about all the medication she's getting. She's worried about being on dialysis. She's worried about the kidney failure. And I commend her because she's doing the right thing. She's asking questions and she's concerned. So I directed her to my website also, and I told her that go to MarshallKidneyFoundation.org, follow me, and I can be your mentor, and I will be her mentor. I've known her for over 30 years. And so she knows what I've been through. So again, follow us on MarshallKidneyFoundation.org. If you want to hear more and follow me, please subscribe and share this video out. Share the link, make some comments, talk to me. If you have questions or concerns, if you need me to be a mentor to you, or you know somebody that needs a mentor, then I can speak to them on Zoom. We can set up meetings. There's a lot of things that can be done. And again, a lot of people, especially men, they don't like talking about their health. And some women too, they don't like talking about it because they don't like what they're going through. But guess what? If you talk about it, it may save your life. Or, there's a lot of people I grew up with. I know they're, dead and gone already. A lot of people don't ask enough questions. And sometimes I may be asking too many questions, but that one question may save your life. So please follow me, like, share, subscribe for more stories like this. And I'll tell you how I won't ever mention anybody's name because it doesn't make sense, but I will follow up. And I asked the person, hey, do you want to go on video with me and talk about your story? And if she decides to do it, she's welcome. And then she started telling me about another person that's in the same boat that's was diagnosed with kidney failure. And just by talking about it, it helps. It's going to help somebody. And also, I was telling the story to somebody, and I was talking to somebody, and just like I said, people don't like to talk about things to others. So I was telling her my story and what I was doing and starting a foundation, and she was like, because I said, there's somebody out there that's being diagnosed right now from a doctor. And it happens all the time. There's 37 million people with kidney disease. So there's always somebody being diagnosed. And if you're being diagnosed, and that's when it hits home. That's when it hits your home. And when that happens, you ain't gonna know where to turn. So that's why I did the foundation, so people have a out. They can look to the foundation, get questions answered, and they can get their questions answered, and they can also turn to us. Go to MarshallKidneyFoundation.org. There's a lot of information. Find out what you're feeling, your symptoms maybe. Just plug it in, pick the page you're on. It'll give you information, but also the biggest thing I'm gonna say is talk to your doctors, because I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be. The only thing is, and why I can build this foundation is because I've been through it. I've been through the gamut, and I'm gonna go through it again. And don't think I'm not afraid. I get afraid when they call me for transplant. It's like I cringe, but because I knew that was the worst 2 years of my life. But I don't care. I still feel like I'm better off doing it than not doing it. If I die after I do it, it's just part of it. And that's what you're gonna get used to in life. So again, I'll be sharing more stories, like I said, and talking to you. And you can follow my journey, like I said. If you wanna click and share and share my story on your pages and things like that, I would love that. So it gets more exposure out there. I want it to grow and be big so that we create awareness for that person like my friend who's afraid right now, and she needs the help, because once you're afraid, maybe it's going to scare her enough that she can try to reverse things that are going on. And I don't think she's that bad off, in my opinion. I just think that, you know, if you stop and think, can you start doing the right things by yourself and knowing how your body's feeling? And she's talking to somebody, and that's the biggest step. So anyway, again, follow MarshallKidneyFoundation.org. If you want to email me, it's info@MarshallKidneyFoundation.org. And again, it was nice chatting with you. Subscribe, share, and tell me your story. I want to hear your story, because I know there's people out there, and I know you're afraid to talk about it. But don't kid yourself. When you tell me your story, I might talk about your story, but I would never tell you your name or put you out there or anybody. So, unless they wanted to talk on camera, and then I would talk to them about that. So again, follow, subscribe, and share. Nice chatting with you. Have a wonderful